Hello guys, myself Dayesh Bhure. I am a data science and business analytics intern at the Sparks Foundation during the graduate rotational internship program July 2021. This video is regarding the task 2 during my internship. So let's start. So this is the data set that we will be working on, and I'll show you that in just a second. Okay, so task 2 was prediction using unsupervised ML. The aim of the task was to predict the optimum number of clusters and to represent it visually. And the dataset that we will be working on is the Iris dataset. And the libraries used are NumPy, Matplotlib, Pandas, scikit-learn or sklearn. And here is a link for the dataset that we are using. So yeah, this is the dataset. As you can see, there are 6 columns. The first one is ID, then sepal length in centimeter, sepal width in centimeter, petal length in centimeter, petal width in centimeter, then the species of the flower. So here is the data set. Okay. And I have provided the link here, and also I have provided the link to my GitHub repository, so you can check it out. So firstly, we are importing the required libraries, NumPy, Matplotlib.pyplot, Pandas. Then we are loading the iris.csv dataset that I have shown you just now. And we are displaying the iris.head, that is the top 5 rows of the data. So yeah, these are the columns and the top 5 rows. Then I have used the dot shape function for looking at the dimensions of the dataset. So there are 150 rows and 6 columns in the dataset. Then I have used the .info function. So what .info function gives us is some basic information of a dataset, including the index values of the columns, the column names, and the data types of the columns. So as you can see, the sepal length and width and petal length and width have float data type. And from here we can detect that there are a total 150 rows in the dataset, and here in the .info section it is showing that there are 150 non-null rows. So it means that there are no null rows in the dataset. Okay, so just for cross-checking it, we are using isNull.sum function. So yeah, no null rows in the data. Then we are using .describe function. So .describe function just gives us the statistical summary of the complete data frame. So as you can see, count, mean, standard deviation, minimum, maximum, and the intermediate values for each column. Then I have used .value count. So for showing the counts of unique values, for example, I'll just run it. Here, as you can see, there are 3 unique values in the species column. So value counts gives us the count of that, and we can say that it is evenly or uniformly distributed. Moving on to the next section, that is finding the optimal number of clusters for k-means and determining the value of k. So as I have shown you, there are 6 columns in the data. We don't need the ID column since it is not adding to any information regarding the flower, and we won't be using the species column because it is a classification column and we are using k-means clustering, which is an unsupervised machine learning algorithm. So we won't need the labels. So what I have done is, as you can see here, the index numbers for ID and species is 0 and 5, and we need the columns in between these. So the index numbers for these columns are 1, 2, 3, and 4. So I've just used those, and we are extracting the values from these index positions. Okay, then we are using the k-means, which is present inside the sklearn.cluster, and the k-means clustering is an unsupervised machine learning algorithm, and it is used to find groups or clusters, as we call it, which have not been explicitly labeled in the dataset. Then WCSS. So what is WCSS? WCSS stands for within cluster sum of squares, and it is basically the sum of squares of distance between each point in the cluster from the centroid of the cluster. So when we will see the graph, you will understand it. And as you can see right now, it is empty, and we will be appending to it later. Then I have used a simple for loop in the range 1 to 10, since 11 will be excluded. Then I have kept the number of clusters as I, since that is what we are using here. And then we are using k-means ++ initializer, and I have kept the random state to 0. You can keep it at any other value as well. Then we are fitting the model to the data, and the data is X that we have derived right here. Then appending to the WCSS. Now, also we have kept the maximum iterations at 300. So it will run for 300 iterations. Okay, so it is giving us a warning, just ignore that. And also what you can do for that is just do it right here. So what this does is it ignores any warnings. Okay. After this, we will be plotting the results that we have derived here. So we are using the elbow method to determine the optimal number of clusters. So as you can see clearly why it is called an elbow method, because this looks like an elbow, the graph looks like an elbow. And I have explained this in the previous video. plt.title, x label, y label. I'll quickly explain it. Title is for the title of the graph. X label is the label of the x-axis. Y label is the label of the y-axis. And dot show is for displaying the actual graph. So on the x-axis, we have number of clusters. On the y-axis, we have WCSS, that is within cluster sum of squares. Then we have the title, and as you can see, the value is decreasing from 1 to 2 rapidly, and from 2 to 3 there is a gradual decrease in the downfall of the graph, and from 3 to 4 there is no significant change in the decrease, and from 4 up to 10 the graph is almost linear. So you can use any value from 3 to 4, that is, in this case I have used 3, but you can also use 4. I have used 3 because frankly we know the complete data. So as you can see, we have only 3 species, but in real life situations when you will be implementing this, you won't be knowing that. So you can use either 3 or 4. Then applying the k-means to the data set, same thing, just I have changed the number of clusters to 3, and then it is the same thing, random state 0, k-means ++ maximum iteration 300. Then we are fitting the model and then making predictions. Then now to visualize the prediction, I have used scatterplot, and here plt.legend is used for this, the legends that you are seeing right here. Then red is for Iris setosa, blue is for versicolor, and orange is for virginica. After that, I have plotted the centroids of the cluster. So as you can see it, and this is actually zoomed in since there is not much distance in the centroids. So as you can see, this point is near 3.4, this is near 3.05. So it will be something here, here, and here in this graph if we combine these two. And I have combined those two by copying the same line of code here and here. And as you can see, the Iris setosa, versicolor, virginica, red, blue, and orange, and the centroids are the green points. So that's it for the task 2. Thank you for watching.